Hey everybody, it's Thursday night, which means it must be time for Shop Talk. So here we are, talking shop. Uh, Stick around as we play this little intro, and we'll be right back. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a good night. I hope you're prepared to hear me on my soapbox because I don't see any way around it. I'm getting up on that thing. I hope it can support my weight. Speaking of things that are weighty, what's up? That was a terrible segue. What the heck is that?
I don't know. It was. I didn't realize that one was what it was, so I wanted to check it. I don't even know what this one is.
Boo!
Oh, that's the Nick Ellis special. I need to rename that one.
You really do, because that's what that is.
Yeah, let's rename that one right now.
It sounds remarkably like him.
Uh-huh.
So, I forgot to really mention any names. I'm Josh. For anybody who doesn't know me, it's Alan. For anybody who doesn't know him, now you know us. We're all friends. Now you can talk to us without your mom getting mad. No stranger danger. What is happening, Tots?
What
Good
up,
to see you,
Tots?
brother. You need that, do you? Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we're going to talk some comics tonight. We're going to talk about things that have made me mad. I don't get mad easily, actually, at all. So this turned out to be a little bit of a line in the sand for me, which is weird. I never thought of it. Of course, I never thought anybody would do it, so I never considered would that bother me or not. But it does. It has bothered me. So should we start with the good news stuff or the bad news stuff, Alan? Do we want to save the rant, or do we want to go right for the rant?
Let's just go right for the rant. We can discuss comics and good stuff here in a little bit. Let's go for the rant.
Because I do have something I want to show off.
That's kind of gotten on me also.
See this?
Oh, what you got?
I got something to show off, and I'm looking forward to it. So, let's talk about the rant. For anybody who looked at the thumbnail for this episode and you were like, who the heck is that old dude? I'm going to assume, Alan, you're old enough, you're of a generation where you recognize that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The thumbnail image we used for this episode?
Oh, yeah, the Paul Harvey?
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, he used to have a show that he did on the radio called The Rest of the Story. And that's how he would end it all at every episode. So now you know the rest of the story. And that's really what's chapping me. For anybody who has not seen, what Marvel is doing now is there's conflicting things being said. One is being that they're doing it on the first issues of the new X titles, and another is that they're doing it on all their books going forward. I have a hard time believing that one. It's more likely that it's just the first issues of the new X titles. But if they do it on those, they're going to start doing it on the first issues of all books or any important book. Because Marvel never met something that they said, hey, that seemed to work, that they didn't want to do and beat into the ground. Let's talk Red Label, shall we? Or whatever that is, Red Band editions.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is you read your comic, you get to the last page, you turn the page, and there's no story there. The story is gone. In its place is just a QR code. And the reason they have said they're doing this is because they're trying to stop spoilers from showing up on the internet. Okay? So what they say they do is they won't activate the QR code until the day that the comics go live. So on Monday or Tuesday of the week a book goes live on Wednesday, nobody can spoil the ending. So here's the next to last page of NYX #1. You turn the page, and this is information that's so important that they feel it could be spoiled. Okay? It's so critical to the story that you being able to turn this page and see it, and you might spoil the story. There it is. There's your QR code. That's the last page of the book. So you turn the page, you don't get a story, you don't get to see what happens in the last page. You see a QR code. So you paid money for this comic book. You paid money for an entire story. You don't get an entire story. You have to go through some stupid exercise to get the last page of the story. This would be where a cameo of a new character is or what have you, right? Now let's talk about that. So what happens? They have deprived you, they've defrauded you of what you purchased because it's not there. You don't own that. You can put that in a bag and board and put it in a short box, a long box, and you will never have that page of that story in your comic. It will not be there, even though you paid for it. So then you can click on their QR code. You can pop that thing up. So, now you can see what the last page of the story is. So they force you. Now you have to have a smartphone to be able to see how the story ends in your comic book. And not everybody has that. I know we think everybody does, but everybody doesn't. They're expensive. So you've cut out people who, like, I can afford to buy this $4 comic. I can't afford to buy a $1,200, $1,300 smartphone. Right? Okay. So we're cheating people. We're making sure that only people who have this technology can read a comic book that's printed on paper. No other medium could you do this, right? If you were to go to a movie theater and you're like, okay, we're getting on here. Okay, how does this movie end? And then it just flashes up on the screen that you have to scan in a QR code and go watch it in your car on your phone to see how the last 5 minutes plays out. No, you would never do that. If you bought a book and you got to the last chapter and it wasn't there and there was an address for you to send in a self-addressed stamped envelope so that they could mail you the last chapter so you could read it, you would burn that book. Why in the world in comics do you think that this is something that people will put up with? And also, yeah, this is something we've talked about too, right? In 10 years, is that QR code still going to work? No. Is that image still going to be out there? No. So something you bought and paid for, you will never have access to. Now they say that it will be in the trades. Oh, this page will appear in the trades. So now you have to buy a trade for a issue that you have just to see how it looks in print. I absolutely categorically could not be more disappointed in whatever brain trust at Marvel decided this was okay.
So here's my thing on it. You've pretty much told all your readers that you're not going to give them the last page of the story until it comes out in trades. So as a consumer, what is the purpose of me buying the next 6 issues of the comic book and be missing a total of 6 pages that I need when I can just wait until the trade comes out?
And then that will kill their numbers, which means they won't sell as many comics, which means there won't be a trade because it didn't sell for crap.
Correct.
It's a terrible idea from start to finish. And I'll be honest, I sent the head of Marvel's marketing group a very strongly worded email last night. I went back and read it this morning, and it wasn't rude or mean. It was just unhappy and deliberate. So if he takes it poorly, I apologize. Not a slight to him, but this is a bad idea, and this cannot continue.
Now, and then I saw where they're going to do it to certain X titles, and then I guess they'll see how it goes from there. And
it's Marvel. The minute that people don't complain, they're going to proliferate. It will go everywhere. Well, and then what they're really trying to get you to do is what they've wanted you to do all along. Stop reading the printed books. Just get Marvel Unlimited and read that. That's what they want.
Yep.
And this is a push to make people do that. Well, why would I even buy it if I'm just going to read it online? And that drives they don't understand the market. And that's the thing. People have shown categorically the number of readers for electronic comics has pretty much remained static at like 10% of the market for years. It occasionally goes up a little bit and it goes down a little bit, but it remains pretty static at about 10%. Why do they not get this? People don't want that. There's an element of collecting in comics. You cannot collect pixels.
Nope.
My copy of this, maybe it's a 9.8. Maybe one day that'll be important. Maybe one day this will pay for my kids to go to college. It never happened. This is totally garbage. I just pulled this, not the book. I haven't read it. This is just an example, right? So nobody get all like, what's he thinking so good about that book? I have no idea. I have not read it. But the minute Marvel thinks that people will put up with this, they're going to keep doing it. And then believe you me, they want everybody's data. They want to know what people are reading, and they want you to buy it from them electronically. Cut out the middleman, cut out the printer, cut out the comic book shops so they can charge you all the filthy lucre for their Marvel Unlimited service. That's what they want. That is what they want. And this is a step in the direction of them pushing people that way.
Now, see, here's an idea that they could do. Instead of the QR code giving you the last page, use the QR code. You could still use it, but just let the QR code take you to a sneak peek of the next issue. You know, you still get the internet traffic because that's literally what it's all about. It's about clicks and views.
Well, no, they don't want clicks and views. They want subscribers.
I know, but here's the thing about it. Like, we'll take me for an example. I am a subscriber to Marvel Unlimited. I do not read new comic books on there. I read comic books from the 60s and from the 70s. I read comic books that I'm not going to be able to read any other way. I mean, let's be honest. If I had the money to go purchase Fantastic Four #1, do you honestly think I'm going to take it home, flop down in my recliner, and read it page for page? No. Marvel Unlimited does have its uses, but at the same time, they're going to end up totally destroying a medium just so they can alienate the core group of the medium.
The people who made the medium successful, yes.
I mean, let's look at, I don't want to name names, but we've got friends that they really don't collect that much anymore. They collect certain things. But if they run across something that is something that they've always wanted, they're going to purchase that comic book. They're not going to purchase a PDF of it.
Ever. And I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. So
I stare at my computer screen enough.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel is completely and totally alienating their fan base over spoilers. Well, now let's jump on spoilers for a minute. You are never going to get rid of spoilers. We knew in the 90s, a month and a half before Image Comics had even planned on killing Deathblow, we knew they were killing him because it leaked somewhere.
Well, let's talk about that, though. Do spoilers hurt comic sales? They do not. If anything, and I'm not even kidding, if anything, spoilers help comic sales. Let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room for that, the death of Superman. The whole story arc was called The Death of Superman. You knew what was going to happen. And what did you do? You went out and bought 5 copies.
Yep.
Everybody did. You bought the copy that came with the armband. You bought it all because you knew what was coming, and it was a momentous event. It wasn't the fact that they were going to do something. It was the execution of how they did it. Spoilers, if anything, they might tick off a small handful of people, and maybe those are really verbal people. But if anything, spoilers actually support comic sales. The data have shown that over and over and over again. Spoilers support sales. People go, what happens in that book? Oh my God, I got to go get that.
I mean, okay, so let's take our little show right here, for example. By the end of the weekend, we'll have anywhere from, say, 50 to 70 views. We do not do a ton of views like some of the other channels do. We always review our books a week, sometimes 2 weeks after the fact. I've got copies, books in here right now that come out 2 weeks ago. How many times have you seen at the shop where we have covered a book a week and a half, 2 weeks after it come out, and then all of a sudden by that weekend, those copies that are left are gone?
Yeah.
It's literally just, I mean, you can...
That happens a lot. That happens a lot with books that you want to read.
Exactly. But, I mean, our little show here, our little community that we've built here has driven your point home. Spoilers will help move books. They may move a week late, but guess what? There's still units being sold, and that's ultimately what everyone needs.
Yeah.
I mean, if Marvel can't sell units, Josh can't sell units because I'm not buying units, guess what? That goes right back up. It goes both ways. And you're not going to sell comic books. Let's just put it like this. I love Moon Knight. Fantastic Four is great. I love what they're doing. I love Daredevil. But the minute those 3 books are affected with this stupid QR code crap, I'm done. I mean, I'm not going to chase them down. I don't want to be sitting there Saturday morning with my pot of coffee and my stack of comic books, and then at the end of every single comic book, I've got to sit there and go, okay, there it is. No, that's just not going to happen.
You have a comic book page, yay big. You don't want to look at it on a phone, yay big.
Yep.
There's so many things. You shouldn't have to do homework for a product that you purchased that is supposed to be complete.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to do anything else to get the thing you paid for.
I mean, I would love to know whose idea this was. I mean, they'll never see this. We'll never get them on the show.
I don't know. I did send them a pretty strongly worded letter.
I would love to have them on the show just to get them to truly justify. Because, I mean, literally, this is stupid. You're not going to stop spoilers. You're not going to stop some smart aleck kid that walks into the comic book store Wednesday and scans that QR code, posts it on Reddit or Facebook or Snapchat or wherever, and not even purchase the comic book. You're not going to stop this stuff from happening.
No. Picture Amazing Spider-Man 299. You turn the page and there's Venom. Or you turn the page and there's a QR code.
Yep.
And now you have to go, well, who is this guy? What is that nonsense?
Or, what was it? It was New Mutants where you had the Cable's first appearance.
Was it New Mutants 87?
87. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it 86 that the very last panel you saw the silhouette of Cable and you could see like basically the scar on his eye?
Pretty much.
You would never get that now.
No.
I mean,
okay, let's go back even further. Hulk 180.
Exactly.
That last page. You never see that. You turn the page, there's a QR code. You don't know that there's some weird scrawny dude in a blue and yellow suit that's got claws that's like talking like, I'm going to whoop you, Hulk.
Yep.
So, okay. That you have no inkling. That page is supposed to drive you to, okay, I got to get the next issue. Not drive you to, I guess I should do some homework now. I scan this in and go read this page on a phone. That is utterly ridiculous. I mean, absolutely 100% inane. I cannot contain the disdain that I feel for this entire idea, for the fact that somebody greenlit it and said, let's do this. Absolutely not. And here's what I would ask people to do, because if you don't, Marvel's going to keep doing this. It might be too late for this first round of these X books, whatever. But if you don't do it, Marvel is going to keep doing this. And if other companies see that Marvel is successful with this, they're going to follow suit. And it's that whole slippery slope thing. This is miserable. Let Marvel know you do not approve of this. Send them an email. They have email addresses in all the backs of their books. They've got email addresses. They've got their website. Send them an email. Let them know this is not okay.
Blast them on Twitter. I mean, wherever you got to
blast them publicly. Absolutely, blast them publicly. That seems to get people's attention. When you hit people up on Twitter and Instagram and all that, and you let them know that that's not okay. Because if we don't let them know, then it's going to become standard practice.
I mean, I'm pulling it up now so I can tell y'all exactly what I put on here. I tweeted the link to this episode, and it literally says, join us as we discuss how at Marvel Comics HQ is messing up the future of comics. I mean, and it's literally, that's what this is. I mean, I'm glad they started it with the X-Men titles, because they've been ruining X-Men titles for years. So that really, okay, I'm good with that. But, I mean, might as well just go ahead and finish off Spider-Man. I mean, you've already got that comic book one foot in the grave. Slap the QR code to it, and let's go ahead and kill that book.
Yeah, if that page is so important that it could be spoiled, then what in the world makes them think I don't deserve to have it in the book that I paid for?
Yep.
And if it's not important, if it's just a throwaway page, then how could it be spoiled? Who cares if you spoil it? It's a throwaway page. So it's one or the other. And in either case, it's an absolute travesty of a solution. It is not a good solution. And like I said, I don't get angry often. I don't get worked up often about this kind of stuff. This has got me butthurt, I guess. I am displeased. I am very, very highly displeased.
Well, I mean, and then, think of it like this. And I know that we've got Marvel fanboys. You got DC. I mean, everybody's a fan of something.
I've always been a Marvel fan.
I've always been a fan of certain books. There's certain books by Marvel that I absolutely love. But let's be honest with you, Marvel. AWA, Mad Cave, Dynamite, Image, they are DC. They are kicking y'all's asses story-wise all over the place. Y'all cannot touch these other companies story-wise. You don't see them doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Look at AWA alone. AWA, let's call it what it is. They are the underdog when it comes to going against Marvel.
Sure.
And that underdog is, they're taking it to Marvel story-wise. Sins of the Salton Sea alone. Red Zone. Red Zone, Devil's Highway. The Keeping Up with the Joneses. Redemption. You don't see them doing any of this stuff. They're putting their time and effort into the stories. Same thing with Mad Cave. Galactor just come out. We've got Gotchaman. We've got Flash Gordon.
Nottingham.
Nottingham. Honestly, the company that does not pick up Nottingham and turn it into a Netflix or an AMC series, that company is a bunch of idiots. They're putting the effort into the stories, and that's why we praise them the way that we do. Marvel, on the other hand, you're putting your effort into a gimmick that could potentially destroy your future franchises. I literally have no desire whatsoever to go pick up a new Marvel #1 now, just because is there a QR code in it? I'm not doing it. It's just not going to happen.
It's alienating.
Yeah, it really is.
It doesn't bring anybody in. It just alienates people who want to get what they paid for.
Yep.
It's fraud.
It really is
fraud. It is theft. You paid for this thing, but you don't get to own it. No, I'm not renting comics.
Yep.
The whole thing is absolutely infuriating. And the more I think about it, the more I look at like downstream implications of it, the madder I get. And you know me, I'm not a mad guy. I don't fly off the handle about things, but this is just horrific. And I think there's either an idiot who came up with this and then a bunch of other people signed off on it and said that's okay, or it's a really crafty guy thinking this is my slow way of getting people to get used to coming online for their comics, to the point where it's the frog in the boiling water thing, right? Just slowly turn up the temperature. Just the last page. That's all you need. Just the last page. Oh, now, no. This whole thing is an absolute crock.
There's other ways to do it. And I mean, this right here is just off the top of my head. Let's say if you want to go down this QR code rabbit hole.
I like what you said about a preview of the next issue.
Yeah, you could do
That's cool. That's legit.
Or you could even do Easter eggs that are QR codes. And let's say if you've got, what was that, NYX1?
Yeah.
And then let's say you've got whatever the next X title is. You've got a QR code in the first one, and then a QR code in the second one, and then say another one down, and you can string like 3 or 4 QR codes together, and you get like a mini online adventure, like a little mini online story.
If it's a bonus,
yeah, as a bonus.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's part of the story that I'm supposed to read to know what's going on and to know what happens in the next issue, absolutely not. If it's an extra, whatever. If it's part of what I'm paying for, I resent that in the strongest possible terms.
I mean, let's look at Moon Knight #0 that come out a couple of weeks ago. You turn that last page, and you've got Mark Spector, literally Moon Knight in all his glory coming down. And you've got Khonshu saying, led by my son, my Moon Knight. That last page is impactful.
Yeah.
But you flip the page, you got a QR code. You've lost everything. You've lost your payoff just because of the QR code.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like you. I mean, I don't agree with it at all. I think it's a stupid idea. It's probably one of the more stupid ideas that I've seen in comic books, and we've seen some dumb ideas in the past. Yep. But it's the same thing with movies. You're never going to stop spoilers. It's not going to happen.
Well, and like I said, what other medium? Can you think of another medium where this would be an okay thing to do?
There's not one.
If you were in a movie theater watching a movie and it stops 5 minutes before the end and you're told that you have to go home and watch it on your computer with a secret password, nobody would stand for that. If you're reading a book and you got to the last chapter and you flip the page and it says, "Oh, you have to send us a self-addressed stamped envelope. We'll mail you the last chapter."
Yep.
You would burn that book. You would set it on fire. Nobody would put up with that. Why in the world do they think in comics that that's okay? It's like listening to a song and you get right to the end and it builds up to this chord. Bump, 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 bump. Come back later for the rest. No, you need it to end. You need it to resolve. It's not okay.
The only thing that I can think of, and this is a stretch on my part, just hang with me for a second. For WWE fans out there, you're going to know what I'm talking about. There was a wrestler, his name was Bray Wyatt. They were getting ready for his return. Every once in a while on WWE television, there would be a QR code somewhere. Well, if you literally pause the TV and you scan that QR code, it would take you to an Easter egg. And it was all leading up to his return. All these Easter eggs. So I like that idea. I'm just wondering if somebody at Marvel Comics saw because I'd never seen anybody do that before. I'm wondering if somebody at Marvel Comics saw that and just thought, well, we can take that concept to the next level. Well, I mean, if that's the case, how long is it before you're emailed, hey, X-Men number 37 is coming out, and your email comes in, and your email is a QR code, and you scan that QR code. Well, then you might as well just go ahead and purchase Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
But even with Marvel Unlimited, I think new comic books are released on there like 6 weeks after the street date.
You better believe that would change fast.
Or yes, or something like that. Like I said, I don't read new comic books on there, so I really don't. I think it's like 3 months, 6 weeks, something like that is when they're released. Okay, well, guess what? Now you've painted yourself into a corner. Like you said, you've got to change that. You got to be releasing them automatically now.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm in 100% agreement with you. It's just a flat out dumb idea. Like Travis Goodwin said, I'm the same way. I cut off my X titles a long time ago. I especially don't plan on picking any up now. And then some of the others, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what they do.
They actually did something like that years ago. What you're describing was an AR thing, the augmented reality thing you would put, and you could scan over certain panels, and it would do exactly what you're describing there. And it was terrible. Now, I'm sure that was partially a limitation of the technology at the time, but it was really bad. And obviously it didn't last. Nobody was like, yeah, that's awesome. Something like that would be okay. It's a bonus. It doesn't affect the story. It doesn't rob me of what I paid for. That would be okay.
Yeah.
But cutting off the last page of a story and sending me somewhere else to see what it looks like, absolutely not. And again, I don't ask you guys to do much. We tell you read comics and come on here and talk. Absolutely, we want you to do that. But I don't ask you to motivate and go do something. But I absolutely ask you, please, please, please. If you're watching this now, if you're watching this later, doesn't matter. Email Marvel and let them know this is not okay. The more people who do that, the higher the likelihood that they're going to listen and go, wow, guys, we really ticked people off here. Let them know. Because otherwise, it's going to keep happening. And then it's going to happen to a book you do care about. It's going to happen on the new phases of Moon Knight #1. And that's going to just make me so angry I could spit nails. Send them a message. Let them know. Because otherwise, this is going to just get worse. It's not going to be that one fun time they did that weird thing and just robbed you a little bit. It's going to become monthly theft of something that you've bought and paid for.
Yep.
I don't know what else I have to say about that. I could keep saying the same things over and over because I'm just that mad about it. But I don't have anything new to add. So we can move on to another topic. If you like. Talk some comics and things that are not going to tick me off.
Well, I guarantee you that none of the books in here have a QR code showing us the last page.
Well, that okay then. That's acceptable.
All right, so let's get into some comic books.
Let's do it.
Right off the bat, pick this one up. Kind of a fun little read. It was not what I thought it was going to be. I just kind of wanted to see how this was going to go because there was a movie that was kind of the same concept several years ago, and I cannot think of the name of the movie right now. But I did pick up, and some of these books came out a couple weeks ago. Sorry, The Dominion, issue #1 by Image Comics.
That's Domain.
Dominion, whatever. I'm a redneck. We can't read half the time.
You adding extra syllables in there.
Yeah, I'm just adding a little extra syllables. That's how tore up Marvel has me right now.
On Dominion.
Yeah, the Dominion. But basically we have a group of friends, think Monster Squad, except for aliens. That's kind of the vibes that it gave me. They're like a group of friends that they're kind of the outcasts.
They must have got shorted that book because I was supposed to have that in my box and it didn't show up. So I didn't see that. I haven't read that. Now I'm kind of
Actually, I think I snatched this one off the shelf. I can't remember though. For some
in
reason,
that case, I have to break Justin's pinky finger.
well, for some reason, things just magically end up in my box, and I don't know what they are half the time. So it could have been one of those. I don't know. But I mean,
Mostly me doing that, but
it's a cool read. It really is. They are tracking down basically what they think is a meteorite, and come to find out it's actually a spaceship. The thing about it is there is a suit in the spaceship that they can use. They do get powers from it, but only one of them can use the suit at a time.
makes sense.
So I mean, it's kind of cool. It's
I mean, you and I have not tried to wear the same suit at the same time. I don't think it would work out well.
well, here's the thing about it: the suit form fits to whoever has it at that moment, so it would work out for us.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun little read. There's another alien race at the end of it. Hey, and look, no QR code, so I get to see the last page, which was another alien race on their way to plunder that planet. So, like I said, it was fun. There's enough there to make me want to check out more and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Next is one that I think everybody has fallen in love with, and we all had reservations about them doing it. Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age, issue number 2.
Yep.
We definitely go deeper into a lost ancient civilization, and it being a Kryptonian civilization. We still do not have any sighting of a Superman or Superman type character just yet, which is fun, but we do get more characters introduced. I'm loving this era's John Constantine.
And the costume designs, it's all great.
Yeah, the costume designs. This has been really, really, really good. I like that they're throwing Antarctica into it. Bill, yeah, actually, Bill, that one book does kind of give Super 8 vibes. Domain. Yeah,
Super 8 was a good movie.
Yeah, but they're not younger kids. I would say a couple of them are out of high school. A couple of them are like seniors. Kind of like late teens, early 20s age group. And look, here comes a spoiler, but it's a spoiler a couple of weeks late. With Kryptonian Age issue number 2, there is an expedition going on in Antarctica. That's where they find the ancient ruins of the lost Kryptonian Age. But guess who else is up there that they're having to deal with that's scoping it out too?
Arctic or Antarctic, did you say?
Antarctic. The one that's down south.
Right.
Yeah. We've got the introduction of Wonder Woman.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's so cool. So cool.
Do you know what Arctic and Antarctic really mean?
No. What's that?
It's funny, but it'll help you remember. Bears and no bears.
Okay.
Arctic has polar bears and Antarctic has no polar bears.
Well, it could also be aliens and no aliens.
Could be.
Could
be.
Because
in Predator versus Aliens, that terrible, terrible, terrible movie.
I liked that movie.
Dude, that made no sense.
I liked it. It made perfect sense.
You tell me what part of this makes sense. We're overrun. There's aliens. There's nothing we can do. Set off your nuke. Okay.
You've eradicated the problem.
Right. No problem there.
Yep.
So here's my question. The giant pyramid that had all of the things that told the story about what happened, which included eradicating with a nuke.
Yep.
Who wrote that story? It was built before that happened. It was nuked. Everybody's dead. Who wrote that story? Nobody. And yet that's the key thing that they figure out.
But no, she does say that from time to time.
Nobody built that building after that happened. Nobody went through and did that. That was absolute malarkey.
Okay, so here's my big question. Did you get to see Alien? Did you get to see a xenomorph and a predator face off?
Does that make any difference to a huge, glaring plot hole.
That makes all the difference in the world. Did you enjoy the fight scene?
I enjoyed the fight scene.
It's a popcorn flick. It's
They
not
lost
Tolkien.
me at nobody could have done the thing that they relied on to unravel the story. That
It's
was
a popcorn flick. It's not Tolkien. It's an amazing popcorn flick.
Nope.
Go back and rewatch it with less expectations and you'll love it. Next up, even though we did this next book, we had high expectations for, and it delivered on every single freaking level. Oh my God. The Hunger in the Dusk, Book 2. I don't understand why any copies of this book are on the shelf anywhere in the country. It needs to be selling out everywhere.
It's a fantastic book.
The fact that our hero is faced with what he's faced with, to put it delicately.
Yes.
And then for him to go, basically, you know what? Hey, thanks for the offer, but I just realized I'm in love with somebody else. I got to go handle business.
Yep.
Yeah. And let me tell you what, the temptation was definitely there and it was definitely strong. I like the fact that they've built an entire world, and it seemed, orcs versus humans. That's a story that we've, dealt with for a long time, but they've made it new and they've made it fresh, and I've really enjoyed it. I like that the orcs have a much richer history and background than what we normally get.
They're not just characters invented for evil purposes doing evil things. They're just another race of people, and we don't get along, and we've been fighting forever, and we view each other with suspicion and distrust. It's a phenomenal book. The art's gorgeous. The story is fantastic.
So if you look, we've got the cover art here, but then, a lot of times when you see cover art this good, especially with some books, when you open it up, the interior art is not on par with the cover.
Doesn't match up,
But with this, it does. It matches up perfectly. One thing that I like that they've done is the back cover is not an ad or anything.
Nope.
It's literally the front cover just blown up some with no color to it. I mean, that the back cover to me is just as beautiful as the front cover on these books.
Yep.
The Hunger in the Dusk it's a must read for anybody that likes that genre.
If you like any kind of fantasy genre at all, it's spectacular, and you should be reading it. The conflict between the humans and the orcs, who are trying to work together to face a common enemy, is really cool. And the Vangal, the common enemy, those dudes are scary. The Vangal really are just scary.
And I like the way in the first arc how they let you know the Vangal are getting around without being seen.
Yeah.
I mean, clever. It's the minor details like that are really making that book so good.
Yeah.
I highly suggest buying it. The book 1 was what? How many
issues?
6 issues?
Yeah.
Snatch the trade and then dive right into this. And this came out, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. I mean, just a fantastic read. It really is. And it's by IDW.
That's a creator we ought to get on the show.
Yeah, really. They would be fun to talk to. Next up, we do have a Marvel book, so we're not going to be trashing Marvel the entire time this episode. But this one is kind of hard to talk about because we're so deep into this story. And that is Daredevil issue number 11. I'm glad that they have left Daredevil out of Blood Hunt. Why are we not focusing? Focus. Focus. There we go. I'm glad that they left Daredevil out of it. Kingpin is possessed, but it's almost like, is Kingpin possessed or is Kingpin doing the possessing?
Yeah, it's well done.
Yeah, it's very well done. Bullseye is back in this issue. We do have, like I said, this story has been building since issue 1.
And it's been a pretty slow burn. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and no pun intended either.
True.
But I mean, it's a great read. This is your last page, and I mean, this is
QR code.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Why would you ruin this reveal with a QR code? Oh yeah, and Matt, you're right. He doesn't, and it's really good in this issue. We're building toward a big fight between Bullseye, Kingpin, and Daredevil. One thing that I do like about this issue is we're really and truly starting to put Matt and Elektra back together again.
Good.
I don't know if they're going to be what they were, but they definitely still love each other.
Yeah.
And I do like that, when she first started wearing the Daredevil costume, I was like, I don't know how I feel about a female Daredevil. But when you read the books, you'll realize that she's not a female Daredevil. She's just wearing this costume to pay respect and homage to his legacy. She's doing
things and it helps remind her too that he wouldn't want her running around killing folks.
Yeah.
So it helps her to stay grounded in this change of attitude and the way that she executes her mission. I really like. I was as big a skeptic about her being successful as Daredevil in any way, shape, fashion, or form as you were, probably bigger. But it made sense within the context of the story. It wasn't just some random, let's change out, let's do a gender swap for this character. Let's do a gender swap. It wasn't that. It made sense within the context of the story, just like it made sense in the Ultimate Universe when Peter Parker died and Miles Morales stepped up and said somebody has to carry on his legacy and do this. And it was a seamless transition because it was rooted in the story. It wasn't just some editorial decision. And this is the same way. I thought Chip Zdarsky did a phenomenal job with that, and it has been carried on very well. But have you got the limited series with her, Daredevil Woman Without Fear? Do you have the first one of that?
I've got it at home, but I have not read it yet.
Okay, yeah. It continues the same vein. It's good.
Yeah, and her story arc that they did with her during Gang War.
Phenomenal. That was the best book out of Gang War by far.
Yeah, it was so good. Daredevil Woman Without Fear is definitely it's a must read. I mean, just by the way that they've been portraying her.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been really good.
Matt Posey, you reminded me. Did you ever get that Creature from the Black Lagoon action figure?
That's a good looking action figure.
Well, just for you, we actually managed to snag a couple more.
Nice.
So we have a few up at the shop now. Don't miss out. If you want one of these absolutely freaking gorgeous Creature from the Black Lagoon action figures, come by and get it. We've got them. Television commercial done. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, I was looking at this cover. This is a very simple cover, but there's a lot going on with it. This is something that I was talking about earlier when I said that these companies are not coming up with gimmicks. They're coming up with solid stories, and they're stomping Marvel left and right with these stories. And that is Redcoat, issue number 4.
Oh, heck yeah. I love that cover.
There is a massive reveal at the end of this book.
It's not buried behind a QR code?
It's not buried behind the QR code.
I'm sorry, I keep harping on this because I'm so mad about it.
But here's the thing about it. The only way this reveal works is by turning the page. Because you see it, you're kind of like, no, it can't be. Is it? I think it is. Yeah, it's going to be. And then you turn the page and you see that person and you're just kind of like, oh, well, damn, I need issue 5 now.
Yeah. And that's what that last page is supposed to do.
Exactly. I mean, the art is absolutely fantastic. There is some in here, and I cannot remember. Oh, crap. We had him on the show, and he was talking about you're trying to, that when you're drawing and when you're doing this stuff, it's what happens in between the panels.
Jeff Johnson.
There is a perfect example of what he's talking about in here, because Einstein and Redcoat or Simon Pure are basically in the dark. They're in a cave and everything is blacked out. All you get is the dialogue. And just the dialogue with no picture whatsoever tells so much story, it's not even funny.
I love the ones that are blank and don't have anything in them at all.
Yep.
You're like, and the artist got paid for those pages. That's my favorite bit. It's like, I bet those are his favorite pages to do. I just knocked out 2 pages of this story in 23 minutes.
Have you read this one yet?
I have not. It's actually on the top of my pile. But spoil it for me. It's not going to hurt my feelings any.
Oh, I mean, this one came out last week, right?
It did.
Yeah. There's another immortal that is introduced at the end of it. And it's somebody that if you think back to when they were on, we know that this person was it was hinted at this person was going to be immortal, but it was never admitted.
Right.
Well, it's admitted in here. And yeah, I'll just do that. And if anybody wants to slow it down, they can. But yeah, it's a pretty big reveal, and I really did like it. It's Redcoat's a fun book. It really is.
It's surprisingly fun because I can't. Simon Pure makes me angry. Like, you have so much, and you are wasting your life. And you have all of this life, and you're still wasting that. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they do have him captured in here, and one of the guys that has him captured makes a comment about, it's Simon Pure. He's been around for, over 100 years. He's got some money saved up. And even Simon Pure is like, well, no, not really. I mean, because what are you doing if I'm young and I've been around for over 100 years, I've got some money saved up.
Well, I mean, look at Benedict Arnold.
That's how I'm living, is just like Benedict Arnold.
Yep. I'm gonna live like Highlander, right? Every now and again, I'm gonna die and leave it to my son, who looks exactly like me, but he's been off at boarding school his whole life. That's what I'm doing.
And I do like that even in this issue with Benedict Arnold, there's still that he really and truly has done nothing to make you not trust him.
But you don't trust him.
But you do not trust him. You're just
that may be an built-in bias for us as Americans, that you do not trust Benedict Arnold.
It may be, but I mean, it's just really good how they've played off that. I've enjoyed that. Last book that I was able to get to, and so far out of Absolute Power, the tie-ins, this is definitely my favorite one. And this one kind of had like a double cover thing. We've got Zatanna on the front. This is Superman issue 16. But when you open up that first cover, you've got the regular cover. I really enjoy. Yes, Superman does get shot in Absolute Power. They basically get him into his black suit in this one. So he's up and he's moving around. He just does not have his powers. But you're seeing everybody else step up around him.
Uh-huh.
You've got, have you checked this one out?
Yeah.
The whole the scene between him and Mercy was kind of sad. I mean, it was, you're just not expecting that between those two characters.
No.
And then the way that it ended with Lois, you're like, well, where did that come from? You know what I mean? I really like what they're doing with the new Superman comic book. This is issue 16. I highly recommend picking up 1 through 15. Don't just go because it's a Absolute Power tie-in. I like what Williamson has done with Superman. I really do. To me, he's brought Superman back to where Superman needs to be.
And who did that cover?
Mr. Zdarsky. I just now saw that.
Not Zdarsky.
Zerdy.
Nathan Zerdy. Buy this, bring it to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, and get it signed next year by Mr. Nathan Zerdy.
I do believe it will be signed.
Get him to do a sketch on the back in that nice space there with a white marker or something.
That's a good idea. That is a really good idea.
Speaking, while we're on the topic of Zatanna, which is not a topic we talk about very often, but let's talk about it. We are doing something up at the shop right now where the new Zatanna series is out, and we want people to try it. So if you go in and you sign up for issues 2 through 5, you get the Jenny Frison cover of Zatanna #1 for free.
That is beautiful.
And you won't get a better deal. That's a gorgeous book. Sign up for issues 2 through 5. You get #1 for free. It's a great read. And that's what we're offering right now. Come and take advantage of it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I did like that cover. That is, it's Black Label too.
Yes, it is.
Outstanding.
So just be aware of that, people.
You got a question about, are you getting any more Destro #2s?
Yes, we got shorted. They shorted us almost all of our copies of the A cover. And we reported the shortage. They should have shown up this week. Tom just told me they didn't. I'm seeing from a lot of other retailers that shortages are taking up to 2 weeks to show up, so they should be here for next week. So I apologize. There's nothing we can do when they're not in the box. They shorted us 11 copies of the A cover of Destro #2. Very painful. Very, very painful. So apologies for that. But yes, we are getting more copies in. Absolutely. So, let's talk some more comics, and then I'll reveal my big thing that I got the other day. I just opened Redcoat to go see what you were talking about at the end. I couldn't wait. It was awesome. Now I'm very excited for issue #5. 100%. I'm gonna need to see that right away, please.
Seeing that character at the end of issue 4 makes all the other characters that have been chasing him make sense now.
Yes.
Why are
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
How do they know what they know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that now makes more sense.
Because if you looked at it beforehand, the only way they could have known would have been because of Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
Well, this issue just proved that it's not Benedict Arnold, it's somebody else.
Matt, Redcoat is an ongoing series. And it's fantastic.
Matt, like Josh said earlier, the character of Simon Pure, there's part of you that does not like him. There's another part of you that does not want to like him. There's even a part of you that may never like him. But you cannot help but read about his adventures.
He's kind of like Deadpool that way to me. He's so frustrating and he's so irritating, and yet I can't wait to see what he does next.
It was just like that movie that come out years ago, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s, The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. Did you ever see that?
Oh, love that movie.
But the character himself gets on your nerves.
Yes.
You're just kind of like, this guy's an idiot. How is he still alive?
None of these things he's saying could possibly be true.
Yeah, none of this works on any level.
Yep.
But yet you cannot help but watch that movie and like what's going on.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with Simon Pure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This one came out this week, so you probably have not seen or read that yet. You can blow me up if you want, so people can see the comics here.
Ooh.
Vengeance of Moon Knight number 7. Let me just tell you, this is the issue where you actually see them going into Asgard to free uh, Khonshu. This is the heist. This is how they get Asgard out of prison.
That one came out a couple of weeks ago, didn't it?
Last week. Might have been the week before. I'm pretty sure it was last week.
Because I seem to remember Hunter's Moon standing in front of the door talking to Khonshu.
Well, that does happen in here. Maybe I was just late reading it. No, that absolutely happens in here.
Okay.
But do you remember this panel?
Yes, I do. No, wait a minute. I don't remember that.
This looks a lot like that Wolverine Jean Grey cover that I think it was Ian Churchill that did years ago.
Yeah.
This looks like a similar concept, but holy smokes! I got to tell you, that right there, if that page and the build up to that page, you're a big-hearted man. You're going to cry.
I don't remember that for some reason. I got to go home and dig mine out because I don't remember Mark showing up until we've got Moon Knight 0.
I'm just telling you. This is phenomenal.
Okay. I mean, I know
phenomenal.
I know I've read it. I'm about 99.9% sure I've read it.
If I know I keep saying this and nobody seems to be listening to me, but if you are not reading Spectacular Spider-Man, the team-up book between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, you are so totally missing out. This book is slam bang fun from start to finish. The art is phenomenal, and it's just fun. Some of the humor is like self-referential. Like Peter Parker will say something, and Miles Morales is like, "Dude, that makes you sound old." And he goes, "Yeah, I know. I feel like I've been cracking that joke for 60 years." Yeah, stuff like that. Which if you don't know that he's been around that long, it doesn't mean anything. You're just like, "Oh, okay." But if you do know, it's just a funny joke. But this book, the humor is great, the action is great, the writing is great, the art is spectacular. You should be reading this book. If you like the characters of Peter Parker and Miles Morales at all, this is a phenomenal book. You should be reading it. Ultimate Black Panther, number 4 left us in a pretty interesting place. And number 5 picks up and just continues from there.
No, apparently Moon Knight 7, I had to look it up. Moon Knight 7 does come out this week, so I'm wrong on that.
This is a really interesting kind of it's not what you would expect to see, but in the Ultimate Universe, Moon Knight is like a combo of Ra and Khonshu, and they want to take over all of Africa. But you don't see a lot. There's an earlier panel, but it doesn't show real well. And then there's a fight, but you never see the close-upness of the character. Like, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Ultimate Khonshu.
That does look awesome.
This book is so good. The Ultimate Universe so far is just fantastic. This one, again, I don't think you will have gotten yet.
No, it comes out this week.
Yeah, there is you get your big look at Pythona, or a Ka rather, the Warden of Pythons. Let's just say, yeah, this artwork is devastatingly good. I mean, it's beautiful.
Rogue Exodus, that one shot that they put out, that had a little bit of everybody in it.
Yeah.
That little one shot did not do Rook Exodus justice.
It didn't help them at all.
No, if you are basing not reading Rook Exodus on that Ghost Machine one shot that came out a few months ago, don't.
We understand that,
Yeah.
but you're wrong.
Yeah, it's a Rook Exodus. Honestly, I like Geiger and everything, but I'm enjoying Rook Exodus more than Geiger.
I am too. There's something that feels fresh about the story.
Yep.
And the artwork is stupendous. I mean, just stupendous. But wait till you get a look at Ka, the warden of Pythons. You're gonna think maybe a crossover with G.I. Joe is a good idea.
Really?
And then you're gonna think, is she seeing anybody? Yeah.
Well, that little
this,
sneak that
if
you
you're
get
not,
of her.
This just came out, and if you remember the Dark Knights of Steel 12-issue series that came out a year and a half ago or whatever, this continues in that world, and this is your big bad Viking Deathstroke. And let me tell you, brother, he brings it. The whole issue is in sepia tone, kind of a gray wash. It's not color, not black and white, but it's not color. And it just adds this whole flavor because it's all winter. And you get this really interesting feel from it, the way that they did it. I've seen a lot of people complaining, and I get it. That, well, I wasn't expecting a black and white comic. I get it, okay. But look at this art. Look at that.
Just knock it over.
Yeah, I did just knock over a pile of my comics. So there goes my 9.8s. But I'm telling you, if you like a good story that just really, really hits, you don't have to be familiar with these characters at all. This is just a great story. And then when you get to the last page, suddenly there's a splash of color. And what I believe to be a really interesting reveal. I think we've got a new character in that universe, and I think you're wearing the shirt that has him on it.
Yeah, I figured if we were going to bash a Marvel decision, I needed to wear a DC shirt.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that one's sitting at the house waiting on me to read.
So good. It's finally, all this stuff we've been waiting on forever is finally building up and happening. And it's really gratifying to see the book picking up as they go into battle. Really, really good stuff. So that's my comics of the week that I wanted to talk about. So that's some awesomeness. So you want to do my big reveal now?
Let's do the big reveal. While you're getting ready for the big reveal, let me ask you this. Did you pick up Epitaphs from the Abyss?
It came in late. Our shipment came in late this week, so I have not picked it up yet.
Okay.
But it's on my list, and I can't wait to read it. Are you taking orders? Well, you already ordered one, so I already ordered one for you. We did get the backer kit for that Monday. And the way that they broke it out for retailers, you have to order all the stuff individually. So all the add-ons, all that stuff, you had to order individually. But I will say that was a pretty big credit card purchase that I had to put on there because we have 8 full sets coming, or 9, 8 or 9. We have orders for 6. So I ordered 2 extras to sell on the wall there at the shop. Stunningly good. It's beautiful. I can't wait for that to come out. While we're talking, and you're talking G.I. Joe, are you guys familiar with Action Force?
That is the overseas version of G.I. Joe, isn't it?
It's what they call G.I. Joe in other countries, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I lived in England back in the mid-'80s, I couldn't get the G.I. Joe comic. In England, they do a weird thing. They take a comic book and they chop it into quarters, and they sell it magazine size and like super thin. And then they take another book and splice it in as a backup story. Weird thing that they used to do. I doubt that they still do it that way, but that's what they used to do. And it would show up at your house every week. So it would just arrive at my house every week as I got Action Force. And this cover stuck with me. It's by Brian Hitch, the same guy who's doing Red Coat now. Back in the mid-'80s, he was cutting his teeth doing Action Force. And that cover right there really stuck with me.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome, right? So talk about that for a second while I try to open this.
Now, the covers that they did over there, were they exclusive to that region, to that area?
They did often have different covers. They didn't always have different covers, but they did often have different covers. And they had different stories sometimes too as the backups. They would be different stories altogether.
Was that January of '88?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Which means it really came out in like September, October of '87.
Oh, they ran that far behind?
That's standard practice.
Okay.
Well, poop.
It's Action Force 45.
Yep.
You know I'm looking it up.
Sure. Who can blame me? All right. Got a good look at that?
Yep.
Well, then, take a sweet gander at this.
Nice. Is that the original for it?
It's not. It's a recreation done by Jamie Sullivan, the guy we had on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is a 18 by 24 recreation of that cover. Line for line, you name it.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
Smokes. Look at that.
That is beautiful.
And it's huge. It's 18 by 24. I got to get a frame for this thing and put this up on the wall. I already know where it's going to go. It's going up on the wall in the back room.
Yeah.
So I can look at it every Saturday and just go.
Just walk in and look at it every Saturday.
I can sit there at that table and look at it all day if I want. It's beautiful. I don't want to take it out of the apologies for the glare on it, but it's in a Mylar bag or a polypropylene bag rather, and I don't want to take it out and screw it up. So apologies there, but it's beautiful. It makes me extremely happy. And he had a sale going on, trying to raise money. It's hard in a place where there's not any kind of universal health care for people who are what's the freelancers?
Yeah.
Freelance artists and things. It's hard for them to pay for healthcare stuff. And so he was doing a sale to raise some money. And I thought, yeah, I can contribute to that. So, speaking of which, did you see when I called your attention to that cover you wanted?
Yes, I saw that. And with us going out of town this week and everything, I was kind of, I'm going to go back to it, though. Maybe it's still floating around there.
It might still be. Of course, he's at San Diego Comic-Con this week.
So let's bring this back full circle and talk about these QR codes one more time.
Yeah, I haven't done that enough tonight. Let's do it.
Yeah, really. So with the QR codes, as a retailer, I mean, I read the article that you sent me, and it does say the X titles. But as a retailer, have they already told y'all exactly which titles, or is it just all of the X titles?
It appears to be the first issue of all of the X titles right now.
So, because I noticed on League of Comic Geeks that X Force #1 comes out next week.
Yep.
So, people can just go ahead and expect a QR code in the back of it?
Correct.
Yeah, that just doesn't work.
Nope.
Does not work at all.
It does not.
Now, do you have a lot of people signed up for that one?
Yep.
Out of those people that are signed up for it, how many subscribers are you expecting to lose over QR codes? Not just that book, but QR codes, period, for the X books.
Conservatively,
Yeah.
35%.
Wow.
Possibly up to 50 or 60.
So
I got a couple of diehards who will pick it up regardless. But any casual person wanting to pick it up and check it out, that's an instant turnoff for somebody who's like, I want to check this book out. Hey, where's the end of my story?
So
can you imagine that's the first issue you pick up because you heard that was supposed to be pretty good, and you pick that up and that's what you have to do, and you think, what the heck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, or especially like a kid picking up a book for the first time.
Yeah.
So let's look at those numbers on a bigger scale. Let's say across the board, nationwide, the QR codes force sales to drop 35% right off the bat.
Or, I doubt that would be the case, but it could be.
Well, I mean, we'll just use that number.
Right.
Not right off the bat. Let's say within the first 2 months, they drop 35%. Is that as an acceptable enough loss for Marvel to keep pushing forward, or does that make them say, hey, we need to pump the brakes?
I really wish I knew. I don't know. I would think not. I would think a loss that substantial would force them to go, why isn't this selling? But being Marvel, they would likely draw the wrong conclusion. It's because they didn't have enough variant covers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So trust them to hop on a terrible conclusion and claim that as the reason why. But yeah, I don't know. I really, really don't know what would be the cause, or what they would look at as acceptable losses to push that through.
Yeah.
It's not a fun gimmick. It's not a cool thing that they're doing. It's not a benefit to the customer. It's defrauding the customer. It's taking away something that somebody paid for. At a bare minimum, it's inconveniencing every single person who wants to read it. It's just bad business. It's alienating. It does nothing to bring people in. It does nothing to excite people. All for the sake of let's avoid spoilers. I mean, how bad are the spoilers really, honestly?
Nick, from what we heard, it was in a press release at San Diego Comic-Con that there was no Babylon to run it past anymore, so they just went with a decision.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah. That's about all I can say about that one, though.
Yeah, that's rough, dude.
Uh-huh.
So I do have a question for you.
What? Hang on. Before we go there, Nick, all joking aside, Nick is a tech person. Nick, I'm a tech person, but, you know, I'm Gen X. I'm still old school the way I want things. As a tech person, Nick, what do you think about this whole QR code thing? Do you think it's a fun gimmick, or do you think that, you know, hey, this is a complete and total waste? We can do that, Nick, whenever you're ready. I just need a time. But yeah, I'm curious as the younger tech crowd what they think about the whole QR code thing.
It has been argued to me that maybe this is um, a generational thing, and the younger crowd may not care or they might not mind it, and that might be true.
Yeah.
But I still don't see any universe in which it's okay um, to sell somebody something that they pay good money for and then not deliver it. I just don't see any universe where that's okay, and any age group that thinks that's okay. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe younger generations are totally on board with it. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why that's why I'm asking Nick, because I mean he is of that younger generation, but at the same time he's kind of old school like us.
That's right, Knickersnapper.
When is your birthday, Nick? I mean, it tells me nothing. I don't have a calendar at home with all y'all's birthdays in it.
You don't?
No. I know yours is like right around the first of the year.
That's true. Well, while Nick is thinking about how to answer that question, um, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
You've been on the road all day. You probably haven't seen this. It's the worst kept secret. There were spoilers for this, people, but guess what? No one cares because it's what everyone wants. Are you, Alan Breedlove, are you going to back the next G.I. Joe HasLab?
Whew. How much are they wanting for it? Because HasLabs can get expensive.
They do. It's absolutely ridiculously expensive. It's $324. You're going to get that plane. You're going to get Wild Weasel. And if they hold true to what's normal for them, you're going to get two other characters if people make the stretch goals. And there's zero chance they're not making stretch goals with this bad boy. Zero chance. Because everybody has been clamoring for this for the longest time. I find it funny that the original Sky Striker that they did in the 3 3/4 inch size for the old O-ring figures.
Yeah.
They didn't do it in the classified size. This is classified size.
Yeah, but we know how they can do with some of the HasLab stuff. That thing may end up coming in with a 6-foot wingspan.
Surely not. But 3 foot is entirely possible. It looks gorgeous. Look at that light. It's got the LEDs. It's going to be lit up. It's probably going to be like the Dragonfly and have the lit up cockpit and all that stuff. I mean, that's beautiful. That was always one of my favorite vehicles. Always.
Hey, Nick, check the Nick Dakota. Yeah, I just now saw the email for it. That's why I kind of clicked over and was looking at. Because they didn't they have some other pre-orders drop today?
Oh, tons of them. Yeah. Yeah, tons of them.
Oh.
What? What are you making horrible sounds for?
Well, I was looking at the email that had all the pictures with it for the Rattler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could only choose one.
Hang on a minute. We are... Yes, I'm visiting it from America.
I know. Why does it keep asking that? That's so frustrating. Like, do you not use cookies?
Bam and bam. Why did you take me there? Take me here and show me this.
What are you trying to get to?
These additional pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The wings fold up. So we're looking 33 length.
Wait, the
Yeah.
wings fold up?
Yeah. I guess
I
maybe.
haven't looked through the other pictures yet, so maybe I'm missing out. But
Yeah, I mean, I literally just went to the link that they sent. Oh, that cockpit looks amazing.
well, it's gonna have to.
Oh, cool. And you can actually take his helmet off?
Yeah.
That is awesome looking.
Lord have mercy, they have a limit 5 per customer. What is that even? But yes, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous looking uh, vehicle.
No.
Absolutely phenomenal. I like that it comes with a stand, like the Dragonfly does, so that you can pose it, so it's not just flat laying there or whatever. Uh, Phenomenal.
Let's jump over here. Wow.
What?
That snake armor, the
Oh,
crimson
that's
variant.
that's not for the classified series.
Yeah.
And I never really liked the original armor the way that I for the original 3 3/4 figures. I had it; it was okay,
Yeah.
but I never really loved it. I'm excited for that round of figures right there. Alpine and Series 2 Storm Shadow,
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Iron
ordering
Grenadiers.
Alpine.
I'm excited for all those.
Now, see, and I like.
Hang on, scroll back up a little bit. I want to show you something. Um, there it is on the far right. Down just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, click on
The.
that. They're on the far right. The cover for GI Joe number 21.
Yep.
That's a dice tower.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just got notification that mine are shipping today. So if you want to play the GI Joe role playing game, you want to roll your dice, you can just drop them down that dice tower. And yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
it's ridiculous and it's stupid, but I love it and it makes me laugh. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that is cool.
You can take all your GI Joe mini mates and pose them around that. It'd be pretty good.
No. Oh, expansion pack or
Yeah,
vehicle pack.
yeah.
See, and I mean, I like this the Night Force Shockwave with the pursuit cycle, but the
Yep.
problem is I already have Shockwave.
Same.
I was going to jump back up here, and where would it go? The Falcon doesn't look half bad.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
The new one looks a lot better than the old one.
So we got, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the 2-packs.
I don't like the fact that they put another figure in with Falcon, so that if you want to get both of them, or if you want to get her, you have to get Falcon to get her.
Yep.
I don't care for that. Some of the packs make sense, like the Valkyrie pack with the female Cobra soldiers. That made sense. They had a 3-pack of Vipers too that you could get. That made sense because it's kind of army building,
Yeah.
right?
I do like that with both their helmets on. That does look cool.
Yeah.
We have some Comic-Con exclusives. So we got.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some Comic-Con exclusives. I wasn't excited about any of them, but
What is that? Helverine?
yep.
Moon Knight looks kind of cool.
It does. Although I've already got the best Moon Knight, so I don't need that.
Oh, crap. You know, I still don't own Stalker. I need to break down and buy him.
Um, you can get the new one that's on the card, like the old one,
Yep.
or you can get the one that came in the box. I really liked the one that came in the box. I thought it was a great figure. He's kind of got a. Well, he's right here. I can show you. But he's got this kind of poncho
Yeah.
that he's wearing. And it's little things like his old school gun, on which he can put in a backpack. But it's the old school gun. It's got the stock that was like just the frame of the stock and stuff like that. And it's, I don't know. I just love when they are true to those kind of details. That makes me happy. But overall, I thought this Stalker figure was a really well done figure, and it makes me quite happy.
All right, so next week we have Blood Hunt, I believe issue 5 coming out. How many more issues do we have?
I believe 5 is it.
Because I saw something earlier, it might have been like in the past couple of days, that said that Blood Hunt has been so uneventful that Marvel fans have even forgot that it's going on.
Ouch.
Yep. I mean, there's been a couple of issues here and there that I've really liked, but other than that,
I still think that they were in an editorial meeting and Jed McKay told them, this is what I'm doing in Moon Knight. And they said, let's expand that to everything.
Yeah.
I would be willing to put money on that's what happened.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Because, I mean, when you look at it, you called it a few weeks ago and you were 100% right. Blood Hunt is a Moon Knight story.
It's absolutely a Moon Knight story.
Which is great because I just don't think we can get enough Moon Knight, especially Jed McKay doing Moon Knight.
Yep.
And I mean, the Fantastic Four, their tie-in for Blood Hunt, that was really good. I enjoyed that. I mean, there's been a couple of tie-ins that I've enjoyed, but overall, it's just kind of, did we really need this?
Well, that's almost always going to be the case, right?
Yeah, I mean, we know going into it that they'll end up depossessing Blade. Sooner or later, Doctor Strange is going to get put back together. I mean, it's like you said, the consequences are just not there.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
All right, what else do we have?
I'm trying to back this, and it's telling me to enter a valid phone number. I've only got one phone number. It's a real phone number. People call me on it all the time, and it's telling me it's not a valid phone number.
You didn't reverse the area code, did you? Because I've done that a time or two.
I did not. I double-checked it.
And then got mad at the computer for not fixing it for me like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. Like, come on, guys. I really would like to sign up for this.
And it's funny. I sent Nick a link, and he just automatically disappeared.
Well, that sounds like Nick Ellis, if ever I heard anything that did.
Uh-huh.
Tell you what. But no, I don't have anything else tonight. Just good comics that are going on. Really enjoying them. Want to hear from you guys what y'all are reading, what you're liking. I would like to implore you. I know I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Please, please, please. If you agree that this is a terrible idea on Marvel's behalf or on Marvel's part, reach out to them. It's just an email. You can all do it. Reach out to them and let them know that you think this whole QR code nonsense is absolutely wrong It's bad for comics. It's bad for business, and it does nothing to bring in new readers. It's just a wall between people and the story that they already paid for.
Yep.
Let them know you disagree, because the more people they hear from, the more likely it is that they will do something about it. So yeah, that's me. That's my soapbox, and that's all I got. So maybe we'll let some folks have an early evening.
I have been reading that, and I have really enjoyed it. One thing that I've enjoyed most about it is the little, what I would call Easter eggs throughout it. If you look at the art styles, you'll remember the various art styles from different cartoons from when you were a kid, and I think that is so cool.
I love
That
that
is
about
so
that
cool.
story. Yep, I love that.
Nick, do what you gotta do, brother.
Yeah. I'm not trying to tick anybody off. I'm not trying to take a swipe at Marvel where they don't deserve it. Lord knows I'm a big supporter of theirs, generally speaking, but I'm not on board with this.
Now, it's a bad idea. It's, if you need a gimmick, give us something
extra. Don't take something away and tell me that it's a feature.
I mean, if you want to do something really cool, let that QR code lead you to a trailer for what's upcoming in that book. You know how like Mad Cave and a couple of others have done trailers for their books?
Yeah.
Let that QR code lead me to a trailer for an upcoming story arc. That would be cool. But yeah, not this. It doesn't work.
Nope, I agree.
I mean, I can come up with thousands of ideas for y'all. You just got to reach out to me.
There you go.
I'm not tracking y'all down to give y'all my ideas. You got to track me down. You got to show me you want it. When you show me you want to do better, Marvel, I'll help you do better.
There you go.
What is that? Oh.
What is what?
Oh, the email over here.
There you go. Well,
so yeah, we're going to have an early night.
Yeah, I think that's it from me, guys. You guys have a great night, and we will catch y'all next week. Hopefully, we will not have to rail at anybody. Also, hopefully, we'll have some good news out of San Diego Comic-Con to talk about next week. And if we're lucky, we may have a guest on who is just at San Diego Comic-Con to talk to. So fingers crossed on that front. And I guess we will just say peace out. Sound good to you, Alan?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thanks much, guys. Y'all have a great night, and we will catch y'all later.